on Netflix. Who knows when it was put out? I think it was March 13th. It's called Bloodride. It's from Sweden. Is it worth your ride to get bloody? Let's figure out if this anthology is worth this bloody ride. All right, so Bloodride has 6 stories in it. I'm going to try to remember it. So if there's jump cuts, warning, forewarn, because I'm trying to remember it. So first, Bloodride, like I said, it is an anthology of 6 short stories, about 30 minutes apiece, and it's supposed to be a grimy, gritty, just anthology of horror and gore. Well, that's what I thought. So let's just continue on with this. So story number 1, I'm going to call it the sacrifice story. This is a very interesting premise of you understand where it's going, and it's unique, and it is a fun little story. This one's it's a fun one, that what you do with these sacrifices and how to get money with the sacrifices with the Vikings. So it's a little fun, it's interesting, but the problem is I do not like the character in this one. The character is just so unbelievable and cartoonish of why this person wants to sacrifice this person for money. Like, if that's the only reason why, it's kind of pathetic. And in the very end, they try to put a twist to it, but it's not really a twist. You kind of know what's happening, and it is a I'm not a fan of the ending, just because what happened to another one of the characters. Like, did that really need to happen? You greedy little bitch. Woo! Anyway, that one is not a bad one, I would say. The second one I'm going to call Imaginary Friends. And this one is actually the best one. The second one I watched was the best one, because you have no idea what's going on. And the kind of the twist at the end, it comes out of nowhere. Like, oh, if I would have paid a little bit more attention, I would have saw what the storyteller was trying to say. And I'm going to say, I enjoyed this one. This one was the best one by far. It was gory, probably the goriest one of all of them. It was the most suspenseful. I wouldn't say it was scary. None of these were really scary, but this had the most suspense and tension of like, oh shit, this is really going to go down. So yeah, the Imaginary Friends one is the best one. So the next one was, oh yeah, the writer. I'm going to call this one the writer. And this was basically a girl wanting to take a writing class, but when she's writing, she's seeing someone else in the background write her story. And while doing that, is what she's experiencing real life, or someone writing her story for her. So there's a couple twists and turns. You're supposed to hate this character just because she's like, oh, I bought a pony. Or my parents bought me a pony when I was younger, and when it died, my parents just bought me a new one. So she was that, like, the cynical bitch where you're just like, not cynical, but like the silver spoon bitch. You're just like, you're not supposed to like her because everything she does, she thinks the world revolves around her 100%. Well, there is a couple twists and turns in this one where it does happen at the end, and the ending makes this one really good. This one's probably the second best one. It started off really, I did not like how it started off, but it slowly, the ending was like, okay, I like it. I like how this ending decided to, is that how people's mental state, if they like a person or if they don't, what are they willing to do, and are they in their own little world, and do they really think what they're doing on paper is in the real world, and vice versa? So this probably is the second best one. It started off piss poor just because you don't like the characters and you don't know where it's going, but this one stayed till the end. Number 4, I'm calling this the pharmaceutical one. Let's call it the Pharmaceutical Lab Rat. Let's call it that one. This one does not deserve to be in this one at all, because usually these other ones have like gore in it. There's a reason why people are killing a person. This one is more of like a suspense of like, who stole something of mine, and when it ends, why do I have a 3:59? Why do I have a 3 o'clock? Why do I have a 4 o'clock alarm? Makes no sense. Let's get rid of that, Chase. Jump cut, I don't care. I'm not even do a jump cut. Anyway, Pharmaceutical Lab Rat. This one was like, really? That's what we're doing? Like, that's how we're ending it? That's the story? That's it? Didn't deserve to be in this one at all. There's always this one in the anthology where you're like, that just doesn't deserve to be in it. It's a good story. I enjoy what they were trying to do, but this is not the right form or right anthology for this story. Number 5, I'm going with The Haunted School. I'll call it The Haunted School. Very unique premise. I enjoy where it was going. Like, this one was a very roller coaster. Like, oh, okay. I like where we're going. I like where we're going. I like where we're going. And you're about to ready, like, have a fun drop. Like, yeah, I like where this is going. But this one's more of like, and then your roller coaster just comes back like, JK, LOL. This is not a real roller coaster. Get off the fucking carts now. You're just like, that's how we're ending it? Like, come on, my guy. Amazing Lucas. That's how he says it. Not really. That was the white version of it. Anyway, yeah, that story was like, you can't start a story so strong with strong characters, strong story. You're interested of like who done it. And at the very end, you're gonna end it basically kind of like you know what's happening, but the screen cuts to black, so they only show like minimal gore of what's happening. You're just like, come on. And then the story, you're just like, shouldn't there have been more like people understanding what was happening throughout this timeline of this one? The Haunted School started strong, great characters. I enjoyed it until the last 15 seconds. I was like, you just sphinctered my butthole, and it wasn't pleasant at all. All right, and number 6, I'm calling it the Mascot. So the Mascot was a very interesting premise. It's basically more of a, I want to call it a CSI. We can call it a CSI newbies. We'll call it CSI newbies. Basically, 2 newbies at this firm are like, what's up with these people? Like, why did someone jump off a roof? Like, did they get pushed? Was it suicide? Was it an accident? Was it not an accident? But then it turned so comical at the end. Yeah, this one has probably the most gore because of a blade. But how it ends, you're just like, that's not scary. Like, these are not scary. I guess that's the biggest frustration. Bloodride isn't scary. Yeah, you have these six anthology stories that are unique and different, but when you have 4 of them that just don't do it for you, but you have 2 of them that are pretty solid, it's hard to recommend this one because I expected more. I expected like kind of like VHS, where that one is really gritty, really hardcore, or like Love, Robots, and Murder and Kill. That one with David Fincher as well as Tim Miller. Like I expected something more like that, but this was very tame. And like I said, 2 for 6. I can't recommend it with 2 for 6, guys. So let's do the math, even though I usually do it by 5. So, Bloodride will receive a 2 out of 5 with Futon, so he goes at 40%. So the critics' news scores gave this one. So Bloodride only has 1 critic, and the critic did give Rob Lowe's not in this. Okay. The series develops its stories and its mix of black humor and suspense. No suspense at all, guys. He gave it a 3 out of 5, so that's a 60%, so barely on the cusp. I want to say these are from Sweden, though, but I could be completely wrong. It came out March 13th. Audience score 55% with only 11 of them. I'm still giving it a 40%, so we'll go with 60, 55, 40. Like I said, don't watch this. I don't recommend it. Chase out the Blue Futon, like, comment, subscribe. I don't think it's Butantopia, Blue Futonians. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I got Psycho-Pass, and there's this new one called Beastars on Netflix. Oh, amazing.